Sometimes, for whatever reason, our lives seem stuck and we no longer know where we are going. And with the 3 NLP techniques we are going to discover now, you can find clarity again on your life path and you can get back into taking action even when everything seemed confusing in your life or too painful to move on. The first one is metaphorically called blowing in the wind or blowing against the wind or blowing with the wind, whatever you want to call that. The idea is that whenever we don't have clarity in our lives to move on, to act upon some new choices, when we don't have clarity, when you don't have clearly the path in your head, it is because there is one emotion or one feeling or one past event that is blocked, that does not circulate properly, and as a result of that you block the access to things that could be beneficial for your path in life right now. Therefore, the idea of blowing in the wind or blowing through the wind is that you can use sub-modalities, something widely known into NLP, decrease the amount of negative feelings, painful emotions that have been attached in your head to something that happened to you. As a reminder, events in your life are neutral, nothing is bad or good. We just give different interpretations to what happens to us. When you dissociate mentally from one particular negative event, that event will lose its capacity, that memory will lose its capacity to trigger some painful feelings inside of us. And when there's no longer painful feelings, we don't have to block it anymore, and therefore we don't block the path in our heads anymore. So this idea of submodalities will be to take something really unpleasant that happened the past year, or maybe in the last years of your life, the last even months of your life, maybe just yesterday or a few days ago you had something really painful, or otherwise, if you can't find anything like this, just ponder on the idea, where am I going in life right now? What is the next step for me in life? And as a response to that thought, to the thought of where my life is going right now, what do you think is preventing you from going there? The goals you have in mind, what kind of negative events or experiences have they been linked to? What is related from your past to the path you want to follow right now? That could be negative. Maybe something in your past holds you back. Once you have an idea of this, and maybe there is nothing for you right now, that is completely fine, it is something you can keep in your back pocket for whatever you will need that. When you can remember such experience that was negative, then you can imagine the memory, the image in your mind is slowly or smoothly starting to evaporate, as if it was just a smoke, it was just a fog. And as you move with your hand or as you blow on it, it is starting to evaporate. And you can do that with memories in your head. You can also do that with a feeling. If you have a feeling in your chest, something in your belly, something where you feel you don't want to talk about it because it is really uncomfortable, you can start to put a color on that feeling or give it a shape. Maybe it looks like a square, maybe it looks like a triangle in your head, whatever appears in your head as you think about it, a square and a color, so you turn that feeling into a symbol, and in the same way you are going to use sub-modalities to make that symbol evaporate into thin air. And as you do this a couple times, maybe 3 or 4 times, when you take a deep breath, look at the symbol or the memory starting to evaporate as if it was just a smoke far away, and you blow on it, and you start noticing it is evaporating far away from you. And the further you blow, the further away it goes from you. When you do that a couple times, you may start to at the very least, get some clarity again about, okay, what is it that I really need to do right now? Maybe that memory or that negative feeling requires some more work in therapy, that is possible. However, with just that process for a few minutes, you can already get some more clarity in your mind, because you're no longer completely suffocating from the bad feelings that you have been stuffing down for years and years. And once this is over, we can get into technique number 2, the 3 doors of perception. That is something I came up with, although I am definitely not the first one to have thought about this idea, but something I came up with when I read about the law of requisite verity, something Robert Dills talked about extensively. Basically, when you only have one choice in life, it is not really a choice because you only have one. When you have 2 choices in life, you are into a dilemma. You might pick this or you might pick that, and maybe none of them are really that effective or useful for you. When you start having 3 choices or more in your life, then you start becoming an actual human being, because our minds are always capable of many more choices, conceptualizing many more choices than we thought about initially. So the law of requisite verity implies that you can always give more choices to individuals, I mean within the context of NLP. You can always give or help people unlocking more choices into their life. And I wanted to make that into some NLP procedure, simple enough so that anyone can use it. Therefore, the idea is to look into your mind. You imagine, you visualize 3 different doors, hence the doors of perception. You visualize 3 different doors from the left to the right, and they might have different colors, they might have different shapes, whatever it is. You notice that the first one of them is the least enjoyable or positive choice you might have regarding your life right now. And when you visualize that in a slight slow trance and you open the door, the first one, the least enjoyable one, you can take a look at what is behind and notice what it looks like. And you are going to see the least enjoyable choice for your life right now. Something that might be quite unpleasant, or maybe it will be okay, but not a great choice either. Then you have the second door, the second choice. And this time we can suggest to the client that this is a bit more enjoyable, a bit more positive, not that great either, but at least it is more average. Then we can open the third door and we say that this one is a great choice, the best choice possible that could happen for you. So you make the clients visualize that intensely, one step at a time, and you make them open the door in their mind's eye and take a look at what is behind that door and notice what pops up in their mind. What kind of choice appears when they think about, from those 3 choices, the best one of them all? What appears in their mind? And if you want to push the bubble, you can even open 5, 6, 7, 15 doors if you want, to keep climbing the ladder of more positive choices that could happen in their life. And in the end, we don't even care about which one they will take or which one you will take if you complete that process for yourself. We only care about developing the mental muscle to open more doors in your life, or even just in your mind's eye. The more you train your mind to conceptualize different choices, the more you will find an option when you will face difficult life circumstances, the more you will be able to elaborate on an option that will solve everything. That is called creativity. You just open more choices by developing that habit in your mind to always look for more than just one option. That is how you solve many more problems than you have thought about so far. And the third one, technique number 3, I will call that advanced future pacing. Not just future pacing, because otherwise I know all the people, all the NLP nerds like me watching this will say, oh yeah, everyone knows about this. I know everyone knows about this. That's why I say advanced future pacing, because I have added a slight step into the technique of future pacing. So initially, for the people who don't know NLP, initially future pacing is just about making a client visualize something positive in their future. I know I am simplifying on purpose. The idea of advanced future pacing is to start from the present right now, so we don't shift into the future too fast either. We just elaborate on a problem you have right now. Obviously a problem that is linked with the fact you don't have clarity in your life right now, or linked to the fact that You don't know what to do with your life right now. You think about that problem and you notice the first image that pops up when you think about this thing you are stuck with right now. When you think about this problem, you can this time visualize a kind of platform, as if you were in a video game and you are going to walk on that platform, and the platform is going to elevate you from the ground. You can visualize that in whatever way you want. People who have played video games like me obviously have more ideas to visualize this. Otherwise, just pick your inspiration from a movie you have seen lately. You imagine a platform in front of you and you notice that on this platform, once you get one step up, you get rid of your problem. I don't know how, I don't know why, I just know that once you get up on that platform, you elevate yourself in the future, then you get rid of your problem behind, because you leave the problem behind. Getting the person to visualize that with a moving object simplifies the process mentally. Coming back to submodalities, whenever you make the mind move with images, it is simplifying the opening of more choices in their mind and in their emotional hotspots eventually. Once they get on the first platform, then first of all, they may uncover that the thing they have been complaining about, or the thing you have been complaining about, was not the real problem you had to get rid of or deal with. In that case, perfect. Now this is getting more clear in consciousness. Oh, actually, my real issue was not this, it was something else. And that other thing, I cannot do anything about it. Sure, fine. You are now on the first platform. You are going to get on the second platform, a bit higher this time. And the higher you go, the further away you go in the future. So when you get even past that new problem or that older problem you were not completely aware of, then what happens? Because you have just gotten onto another platform, and then you can play that game again and again. You can make them or make yourself shift into the next platform again, even higher than the two previous ones. And on that third platform, you even get more distance from the problems you had on the two other ones. And you keep climbing like this on a new platform and a new platform and a new platform even higher, until you realize, well, there's just nothing else I have to deal with. It's fine, I'm cool. Now I can just build enjoyable projects. I don't have to deal with suffering anymore. Great, what does that look like? And how many problems have you had to deal with? When you do that process one step at a time, it clarifies everything, because at each step you are going to notice it is only mainly one thing. Mainly one thing that gets you trapped. It is not a zillion things, even if I know you are a very busy individual, you are lost, you have too many things to complete. When you do that process, you are very soon going to realize it is only one thing right now that gets you stuck. And once you get rid of this one, maybe other problems will arise. Only deal with them one step at a time. You don't have to deal with everything at the same time. One step at a time, you visualize what it would look like to have opened the pathway to deal with that older problem. Again, same thing with the same doors of perception. When we play that game, sometimes people will change in ways that were not even mentioned at the moment we guided them through this process. If you have a patient and you guide that patient through a process like this, they are going to say, yeah, I have to do this, I must get clarity about that, I must get rid of this person in my life. And they will mention those things. Once the session is over, maybe they won't even need to do any of them. Maybe they will act upon their problem in another way they haven't even mentioned. But because their mind has been shifting in many different spots and moving in different ways they were not used to so far, then they are going to think about something new they did not think about yet. And that is where I find the magic of the unconscious mind. You just discover new options you didn't know were available. only when though you play with the mind in those ways by using NLP techniques or even any kind of procedures you enjoy using. Some kind of meditations work great too. Just something where you get your mind more flexible so that you start seeing the things you were blind to so far. And if you are really new to NLP, I would like to propose you a manual of about 50 pages, I think, or maybe a bit less, of the three big principles, the three big steps I noticed into anyone who was learning NLP, anyone who was finally mastering NLP. What are the main phases they go through, and what are the main techniques they end up mastering when they become an advanced NLP practitioner? You have this document down below, and you just read it from the beginning to the end, or you just skip some phases if you want. It is something I think will be really valuable if you want to organize in your head all the material you are discovering into NLP. If you want to get clear about what to learn first and how to learn it, you have this manual down below in the description. And waiting for that, I tell you, see you soon and thank you, and I will see you in the next video.